ladies, gentlemen, King Kongs and Godzillas of all ages. Spec banners again. I don't have enough gems. This spec banner is kind of all over the place for a lot of people, but there's some wild stuff on it. So smart on POKELABO for putting this out before a collab, because it's gonna eat all my currency. So congratulations. So I'm just gonna do these bit by bit and sort of yay or nay. There's gonna be a lot of yaying in this one, which is as Fort Prime mentioned today, something you don't do a whole lot on should you pulls, but it's true because you have to be very careful about banners and wasting crystals, especially if you're a free-to-play. So let's get into it. So up first are the stabs for these spec banners. So obviously, like all spec banners, these are spread out over the next 4 days. You get 3 up front. I believe it's magic. I want to say it's magic orb instrument, and then the other one is physical tome staff after the first set of banners goes. But we'll see. I'm pretty sure instrument's out tomorrow, so I'll be streaming that. So hopefully you guys come and hang out. So we've got the golden staff up front. It is a heal 1 ally by a tier 3, and you get a physical attack buff. This is alright, 4,700 stats. It's kind of better than its brethren because... So the thing I don't like about this one specifically is that it was 900 on... Like 2 or 3 months ago, it was 900 month medals. So, like, for it to kind of make a comeback in a regular spec banner, I'm a little irked by. But it's recovery support too, so, you know, go wild. You also have the Staff of Inheritance. This is a 5,000 stat staff. It heals 2 allies by tier 3 and recovery support 2. This staff is nuts. If you haven't replaced all of your target 1 staves at this point, and you are only leaning into a couple of target 2s, this dude's worth pulling. Like, it's a tier 3 heal, and it's on recovery support too. You should be able to deck out at least half your grid with these if you really work it out well. The other one is Revived Breath, excuse me. So this is going to be a recurring theme on the banner. There's a lot of LL upgrades in this one. So Staff Protection is 2 allies by a moderate amount. And increases their magical defense by a small amount. It's also got recovery support too. So this... Man, this staff is wild. Plus, in the future, it gets LL'd and it goes 2 to 3 out. It goes from 2 to 3 allies, so it's a 2.5 target. Almost 5,200 stats just on the level L80. It's... Clerics, you're eating good. This is pretty well done. This is a good spec banner. So overall, Cleric banner, with the exception of the Golden Staff, these other 2 you should, unfortunately, unless you're saving for the Slime banner, which will probably have its own medals, this is about as close to a must-pull as you can get that's not a step banner. Like, spec banners can be traps for the most part. There are no steps, so there's no guarantee you're going to get any of this. But a lot of these weapons also never pop up in regular step banners, so it's kind of just either you get them on, and you can't get them in pity, so it's a gamble. Make sure you've got currency where you want it. If you're saving for the Slime collab, just save. Don't listen to me. You've got the Book of the Fiery Soul for the Tome banner, starting off pretty strong. Support boon 2, 2 attacks, or it's 2 stats, 1.5 targets, almost 5,300 stats at 80 L. Good God. This is pretty good. It's about as good a book as you're going to get for a while. Sport Boon 2 books, I know, have been kind of choppy and lackluster, but this one's solid, especially because eventually it goes up to an average 2 target once it goes to an LL. It's just wild. Pirate's book is a little bit less. It's reduced magical attack of 1.5. It is by tier 3, though, so like that's a lot. 5,200 stats. And it has a chance of increasing the physical attack of one of your vanguards. Less impressive than the previous book, still okay. This is a little more niche than the other one. And then we've got another Windmill Slam. We got Tome of the Ancient Ruins, another LL eventually. So it's 2 stat, 1 target, which is pretty strong. And then when it LLs, it's 2 stat, 2 targets, and it bumps up the tier. So it's a tier 3 here. It'll be a tier 4 when it LLs. Now, these LLs are still, like, probably a year plus out, being 100% honest with you. And that's, don't act like that's a schedule. I don't know when they're coming out, but they didn't come out very quickly in JP, so I don't think they're going to be out end of year 1 in Global, unless things get really weird. So we've got Support Boon 2 on here, just shy of 5150 stats. It's the Sork banner's pretty good, and it's sad, but it's pretty good. I like it a lot. This is another one of those where you need to look at like where you're at in numbers if you're saving for slime, because like that's the big subtitle here is, are you saving for slime? Because we don't know what it's going to be, since it's going to be a simultaneous release with JP. So odds are at least the classes will be very good. We don't know where the weapons are going to fall, but that's kind of always the danger in these particular things. So Sork banner, Spec banner, also very good. Magic attack banner, you've got the gun of the fiery magical beast. It's a replenish magic 2. It increases your own magic attack, magic defense tier. What is this? 3 damage, just shy of 5200 stats. If you're a gunner, it's pretty good. I think, honestly, you can probably skip this one. I don't think it's good enough to really go buck wild on, although it is a very good gun. You've got Pride of the Executioner. This is one that we've had on repeat, I believe, once before. It is a Dauntless Courage 2 fire stack, so pretty good. It has a tier 3 attack and almost 5300 stats at level 80. So if you're kind of swinging a pole arm and you haven't got this one yet, this one's pretty good. And then we've got the other Dauntless Courage 2, the Soul-Eating Slim Sickle. It grows wings when you upgrade it. It's pretty funny. So it's attack 2, tier 2, 1 to 2 enemies, Dauntless Courage 2, just shy of 5150 stats. So I think Paladins have a slight more investment in this one than Gunners do, but again, temper yourself. If you think you can do without them, go for it, but that's 2 Dauntless Courage 2s on right up at the bare minimum. Like, obviously, if you pull the gun, it sucks, but they're pretty good. All right, physical attack banner. This one's a little crazy. So we've got a DC 2 hammer, finally. It decreases physical attack when you hit them, 1 to 2 enemies, and it's just shy of 5200 stats. This is about where you want your standard for, like, 18 to 19 cost weapons. Like, 19 cost probably needs about another 100 stats on them, but this is really good. And its physical attack is 400 higher than its magical attack, so it's not entirely split wasted. Pretty good hammer, though. You've got the Sword of Suppression, Dauntless Courage 2. It's a tier 4 single target, almost 5300 stats. So, I guess if you're a breaker, this is pretty good. I mean, it's decent for spaghetti grids too, but I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know if it's worth pulling since there are 2 hammers on the banner. Now, this is kind of the gamble here. So the Bludgeon of Heresy is a PDEF debuff, 5100, 5150 stats at 80, and it's a tier 3 attack. It only goes up to L. We've had this one before. With as good as Eagle's hit is, I don't know if it is worth the gamble of doing both. Physical attackers definitely have... You have a slightly easier time than a lot of the other banners to figure out if you need this or not. So, like, take a look at it. If you really think Eagle's hit's worth gambling over, like, by all means. And then we've got my bread and butter. So, the Guide of the Evil Rabbit is out. It's 2 stat, 2 targets. It's physical. It's a tier 2... Cost 18, support boon 2. It's dumb. I hate everything about this. It's so good. Just shy of 5200 stats at 80. And it's LL proof. It goes up in the future. So it's solid. It is very solid. And then we've got... Oh, this is why I hate the Spec banner. So this is Heatwave. This is a roar. This is the roar minstrel weapon for the time being. When you're at disadvantage... You have a 1.5 effect at disadvantage, and it's support boon 2. This eventually LLs. It's slightly over 5,000 stats, so the stats are a little disappointing. And if you don't have a physical attacker on your team, it is very disappointing. But the roar... God, the roar is so good. Proccing a roar effect with a support boon procs or series of procs, it just guarantees you are going through the roof. So, like, in my case, where my Vanguards are 4 out of 5 physical, this is a godsend. This is absolutely insane. And honestly, if you have 2 or 3 physical out of your Vanguard, it's still probably worth pulling. This is what makes me a little upset about it. Like, this is, for Minstrels, this is a must pull. Like, you can't skip both the Guide, both the Evil Rabbit and Heatwave. Like, they're too strong to be able to pull them on both on rate up. Even if you're gambling, it's still really good. And then you've got the Sickly Sweet Harp. It's another support boon 2, almost 5,300 stats, and it's a 2-stat defense by 1 target tier 3. Like, I don't have that one because I didn't pity for it, but oh man, this sucks. Like, I have to pull on the Minstrel banner. Like, I don't have any of these weapons, and all 3 of them are great. I mean, the Sickly Sweet Harp significantly less so, but the other 2 are almost must pulls. So, I know that's kind of a wild thing. This is the most enthusiastic I've been about any banner in like a month and a half. But this is it. So, the Clerics probably want to pull on it. Like I said, the Slime banner is really the subtitle here, so if you're dead set on saving, just save. Because we do not know what that will look like. But there are a couple of considerations you have to take in these. Like, Cleric is one of them. Sork is another one. I think if you're a Paladin, you don't have the Sickle or the Executioner, it might be worth gambling. I don't think if you're a gunner, you go in, though. I don't think the gun's good enough to justify it. Same thing with the physical attack banner. Like, Breakers, it's a good sword, but I don't think it's worth gambling the other 2 on. And Hammer's Eagle's Hit is really good, but I don't know if it's worth gambling to get the Bludgeon of Heresy or the Sword of Suppression either. So, sort of, I think that is a decision that you'll have to make a little easier. Minstrels you have to pull. I don't like saying that. But it's kind of like when you get a class with cost up 1 or 2 in it. It's just one of those things that is just, it's understood. You kind of have to go in. With Heatwave and Evil Rabbit in this one, it's, I can't in good faith tell you to skip this one. Because unless Slime has some insane Minstrel class and weapon on it, which it will use its own medals, so most likely. So that's the biggest issue of it all. It's just rough. So take a look at them. Keep in mind that's what you're getting. You have the names of them, so if you want to look them up and kind of do a comparison one by one, go for it. But with Heatwave and Evil Rabbit Minstrels, you gotta go. Like, I'll be streaming all my pulls until I get both of them, or nothing. I got about 3,000 gems saved up, kind of roughly. So we'll see how tomorrow night goes. So like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to check out the rest of the Royal content. The Royal content. The people in the Royal Content Creators Program. Those guys. Wow, I don't know why that word failed me, of all things. So, good luck, everybody.